Hey, I'm Derek. Welcome back to my workshop. If this is your first time here, please hit subscribe. And also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. So what I have here is two pretty nice looking red and black made in China cordless angle grinders. One costs $120, one cost, well, $40, even though I got it for $20 during the last parking lot sale. So 20 bucks and really 40. 120. You can buy 3 of these for 1 of these. I watched a video on the Bauer Angle Grinder, and this guy seemed like a nice guy, got a pretty good channel, far larger than me, and the title of his video on this was that it sucked. So I've used it a few times for little things, maybe a couple like medium-sized tasks. But I'm going to match it up with the Milwaukee on this easily 3/4, 1 inch thick piece of railroad here that I found out on the ground. I'm going to use them and cut through them. A couple of things to note: they both have 3 amp hour batteries on them. I could be wrong, but I think this guy had a 1.5 amp hour battery he was using. That battery dies, a 1.5 amp hour battery dies extremely quick on the Milwaukee as well as the Bauer. I have 1.5 amp hour batteries for both my Milwaukee system and my Bauer system. The other thing that he said sucked about this was that it always is turning off while you're in the middle of using it. And I'm just here to say that this Milwaukee does the exact same thing. It's not the fuel version. I think that the fuel version, I don't think it does that as bad. I've used them, but it's been a couple of years since I've used them, and I don't remember, but I think that they're really head and shoulders better than the regular. Let's just test them out and do some real world tasks with them. So the first thing that I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna demonstrate how both systems turn on and turn off. What you're gonna see here is a real slow start and slow acceleration of the wheel on the Bauer. Takes a second to get up to full speed, where the Milwaukee is immediate. So that's kind of one of the drawbacks of the Bauer that I will admit is definitely there. But now let me demonstrate how both of these tool systems shut off with too much pressure put on the wheel. All right, so first the Milwaukee. That's what it does. Now the Bauer. All right, so I will admit it was a lot easier to do that to the Bauer than it was to the Milwaukee. I will also say that this Bauer has been used a couple of times since it was fully charged, and the Milwaukee is on a completely fresh battery, but I already knew that it did that before a direct comparison. I noticed that the Bauer cuts out faster than the Milwaukee. So the other thing that I'll try and demonstrate real quick is how long it takes for the Bauer to get back up and going. Well, I didn't do it right there. I don't know, I don't want to spend too much time trying to make it do that, but sometimes if you turn the switch off and then turn it back on, it won't turn on immediately. You'll have to shut it back. You'll have to turn the switch off again and then push it back on, and then usually by the second time it'll start. Where my experience with the Milwaukee is that it pretty much every single time will turn right back on. So the next thing I want to kind of compare is just cutting power, like how much pressure you can put, how fast they'll cut. They're both using Bauer cutting blades. Not really the best, but I like them. I think the price to how long they last is pretty okay. So there's not going to be a difference in the abrasive wheels. So I'm just going to do some cutting on this piece of railroad. See how often it does it even on the Milwaukee? The Milwaukee's imperfect too. I'm just gonna give up there because I'm tired of messing with it. Yep, started right back up again. So just to demonstrate, I probably cut even longer on the Bauer, and it's still on 3 bars. Where this Milwaukee, well, it's on 4 now, but it was on 3. This Milwaukee battery is about 5 years old now. I think this is mastic on there. That's about how long ago I was doing HVAC, where this Bauer battery is pretty much brand new. So that's a little bit of the discrepancy in the test here, or the comparison. But in that right there, I would pretty much say that the Bauer cut every bit as good as the Milwaukee, if not better, in that specific instance. So I'm gonna give it another go with the Milwaukee. And another go with Bauer. So there you have it, just kind of a initial review on the Bauer and just a direct comparison to the Milwaukee. Obviously very different price range tools, and clearly Milwaukee probably is a little bit better, but for the average guy that is not using this thing every single day, I think the Bauer is really a clear choice. That's why I'm starting to get into that line of power tools. I think I'll do a video on that in specific, that whole topic alone. But I think overall the Bauer tools are a really good value, especially when I point out that I can get 3 of these for 1 of these. And the purpose of that would be so that when I'm working in my shop, if I have 3 of these, I can have a cutoff disc on one, a flap disc on another, and a grinding disc on another. So, you know, not that I think I'll end up with 3 of these things. I could see myself with 2 of them. But the other thing that people need to recognize is that these are cordless angle grinders. They're not corded. They do not work as well as corded. They are not as strong as corded. And they are not as, well, I guess, reliable as corded, because they run on a battery source, and these batteries die very, very fast in the cordless tools. Or the cordless angle grinders specifically. They last fine in the drills and things, but I've noticed that the cordless angle grinders kill batteries very quickly. So the last I checked on a Milwaukee, you can buy these 3 amp hour batteries on Amazon for $99. I picked this guy up for $36, this 3 amp hour battery. I got a 10% off coupon on Bauer batteries through the end of March, and so I picked it up for 36 bucks, regularly $40. I'm sure that even someday there will be a better deal than that, maybe even for $30, but I can buy at least 3 of these for the price that I can buy 1 of those. And especially if you're talking about buying them from Home Depot, the Milwaukee batteries, I think 1 of these 3 amp hour batteries are every bit of $99 just for 1 of them, where this is 40 bucks everyday price. So obviously you can get them for better deals and everything like that, but I'm pretty sure But if you bought this alone and walked into Home Depot and picked one up today, it'd cost you 99 bucks. And Harbor Freight, I know that you can walk in and buy this for $40 today. If I'm wrong about this, I will put a little note in there somewhere noting how much you can actually go pick this up from Home Depot from today. But so now that that's over, a couple of the things I wanted to note is the adjustability for the guard on the Milwaukee is a lot easier to adjust. It's just got a spring-loaded little lever here, and you can move it real nice and easy, where on the Bauer you have to flip this lever here and release it, and then you can adjust it to wherever you want. And it's not quite as adjustable as it is on the Milwaukee. Couple other things to note. I will say that ergonomically, I like the Bauer Head and Shoulders better. Holding it in my hands, the Bauer has a way nicer feel to it with the rubberized grip and everything. There's a little bit of rubber on the back of here, but I hate this front switch on the Milwaukee. I know that you can get them different than that, like with the fuels and stuff, but on their standard basic $120 grinder, I really don't like the lever here. It kind of forces your hands to be up there by the tool if you ever have to take the guard off, which sometimes I've had to just take it off just to get it out of the way. Where this one, you know, you can keep your hand. I mean, it's kind of like a nitpicky thing, but it's just something I've noticed. I like having the switch on the back. A lot of people say that it's goofy. I shouldn't say a lot of people. I've just seen some people say that it's goofy. This switch on the back, I don't think so. I like the placement of it. I think it's a good placement for it. So I've had this Milwaukee angle grinder for about 3 years. Had this for about 3 weeks, if that. And I don't really have long term on this. Will this still be working in 3 years? Well, that's really yet to be determined, because I think Bauer's only been out for about a year now. Probably a little bit longer, but not a very long time. And I've had this Milwaukee for quite a while. I'd like to see how long the Bauer is going to last. So if you would like to see how long this Bauer angle grinder lasts, go ahead and click subscribe so that you can see my 1 year review. And then the only other time I'll update it is when it breaks, and I guess I'll go from there. After that 1 year review, I'll just keep using it, and if there's anything to note or if it breaks or anything beyond that, I'll probably update it. As far as the Milwaukee goes, I think this tool will still be here in a couple of years, and I think I'll still be using it. But as far as short-term use, I will say that for a guy who's not using his angle grinder every day, I think the Bauer is a really, really solid choice, where obviously if you're a pro, you're probably going to want to pick up the Milwaukee, and even in that case, if you're a pro, I'd probably even go for the Milwaukee fuel the brushless motor versions, because they are just a little bit stronger, the batteries last a little longer, and just a little bit better tool all around than the $120 Milwaukee angle grinder. One other thing I want to mention is that the Bauer handle has a nice rubberized, like, two-tone grip on it, where the Milwaukee is just a hunk of plastic. Really not a make it or break it deal, but it's just one more little detail to know. I really like the Bauer. I think it's really nice. The Milwaukee's fine too. It's, like I said, not a deal breaker, but the Bauer's definitely got a nicer hand grip on it. So again, for like the third time, please go ahead and click subscribe if you think that you're going to like my channel and the content that I will provide through YouTube. And also, please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And really, I thank you for watching, and have a good one. And one last thing, go subscribe to Country Handyman. I'll have a link to his channel in the description below. He's my younger brother. He does similar videos to this. Does a good job and is trying to grow his channel as well. So please subscribe to him.